humanitarian broadcaster.
The show on Salam Media. It is 11:48. So, what to do if you are at home during a burglary or a home invasion? Now, we've all seen movies with traumatic break-ins that have left us filled with horror. The idea of someone coming into your home and a hostage situation, them taking your belongings, them you know, killing someone in the process and stuff. We've all heard about those. We've watched the movies and also in real life. It has happened to some people we know or some people we don't know, but we've read of such situations, especially the most recent one on the farm in KwaZulu-Natal, where the pregnant wife was killed. So, joining me on the line right now is Mohammed Dabhelia from Vision Tactical Security to give us some tips on what we can do if we are faced with such a situation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mohammed Amin, thank you for joining me.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks, Mariam, to you and Salam Media for having us on the show.
Alhamdulillah, shukr. So let's just get straight into it. What should we do if we are faced with a break-in? If someone breaks into our house, where do we start?
Well, Mariam, I think you likened it to what people can see in movies, for instance. The situation in real life is completely different, in a sense that movies tend to make it that much more dramatic, not and things like that. So basically, obviously, we in the Gauteng region, in Johannesburg itself, and just maybe backtracking to last year, where Stats SA released crime stats, which stated that Gauteng was the hub for house robberies and armed robberies in houses and things like that. So just obviously, advising our clients itself. We have a lot of residences and houses that we protect and safeguard. Obviously, there's various tips that we would obviously, communicate with them on a regular basis, which would be, doing things and taking note of important aspects in terms of when a robbery does occur at home, what to do. Basically, all of our houses that we, do armed response and guarding with would be equipped with a panic button. And that's vital in terms of the armed response service that we provide, because in terms of when suspects do enter premises or property, you tend to go into a panic, and that's when you use a panic button. You press it, and basically we would get a response in our emergency control room, which would then dispatch supervisors immediately, armed response tactical officers to the house, who would then respond and secure the scene. Obviously, hoping to apprehend the suspects before they can enter the house. So, it's important to have a lot of systems in place in your premises or on your premises. That could be CCTV cameras, where you'll be able to basically detect suspects before they are able to break and enter into your house. That's very important. And then obviously at night or in the evenings, having good lighting on your premises, things like cutting trees, ensuring that there's no bushes or things, that's obstructing your view or the view from outside. It's important that people can see basically, also what is taking place, because, high walls all the time is not a positive thing in terms of when we speak in our house break-ins. High walls, it's hidden. People can't see basically what's happening. Maybe if someone drives past, they're able to see maybe 4 or 5 suspects trying to break into your house, where they would then alert the South African Police Service or us as Vision Tactical, providing a private security service in that sense.
And yeah, I wanted to find out about the high walls issue, because I know a lot of people build high fences and put electric fencing as well to ensure security. And how safe is actually these security, these electric fencing that people put in their homes?
Well, electric fencing, I think it's an important parameter to use, in a sense of securing your premises, and it acts as a deterrent to potential house robbers or suspects. This would obviously create a barrier between your premises and the road where your house is situated on. And electric fencing has proved to be quite beneficial in that sense, in crime prevention, in things like that. So yeah, it is quite costly, but obviously, I think if you're looking at protecting a house and installing an alarm system, electric fencing would obviously be, number two next to your alarm system.
Hmm. Okay, so I've probably watched a lot of movies, and what if in a situation this burglary was pre-planned? You know, maybe they've been scouting the house for a while, and they've prepared everything to the T, cut the electric lines, they managed to get through, and now the family is faced with the intruders inside the home. What do we do then?
Well, obviously, if intruders do get into the house, one would hope that you've already pressed your panic button or made contact with some sort of law enforcement if you don't have an alarm system. But what we encourage our clients, especially in the various areas that we do provide to do is have emergencies contacts on hand, things like that. Your local police station, CPFs, your community policing forums, your private security companies that you might be registered with or is in your community. Just keep in touch with them and keep them on speed dial. Panic buttons. These are the important things. But obviously,
Mhm.
once an intruder does get into the house, there's things you should do and shouldn't do. One thing that you should do is maybe try to find a place where you can maybe move your entire family into a safe area, which would be either in a bathroom where you can lock the door, and then put maybe a barrier between yourself and the door. Because usually what intruders would do is kick the door down to get to you, and then obviously use you as the means to gain entry into other parts of the house where they would obviously take the valuables and things like that. But then, just as I mentioned, once the panic button is pressed and we do dispatch a supervisor to your house, they would then obviously investigate what is going on and report back to our emergency control, who would then take further steps. If there is an active crime scene taking place or in progress, then obviously the local South African Police Service team or officers would then be dispatched to the scene, and then they would obviously move forward with regards to that. But don't usually armed suspects would come in with weapons, things like that. Don't approach them in a violent or manner, because obviously you don't want to get the short end of the stick in this case, which would then obviously opening fire on you and your family and things like that, which would then a loss of life is much more important in this case. And you don't want to go through that. It's already a traumatic experience to go through, especially for younger kids, things like that. So just maybe keep calm, do what obviously the intruders are telling you to do at that stage. If you have made contact with some sort of law enforcement, know that help is on the way. Don't think that you're obviously alone in this. Once that situation is starting to take place, obviously we'll then dispatch additional units to obviously apprehend the suspects in this case.
Hmm. And if you have a weapon, is it advisable to use your weapon on the intruders?
So obviously they bring in self-defense in that sense, but we know the manner in which the law is interpreted in this country in terms of self-defense, that you would obviously be charged. If anything does happen to the intruder, a suspect is shot dead on scene. Things like that. It's very complicated. The justice,
Mm.
in the justice system in the country, it's quite complicated in that sense. So you can keep obviously a gun or weapon in your house as a self-defense measure, having the correct licenses and training for that weapon is also very important. You can't just buy a licensed weapon and not have the training to use it. So yes, you can use it as a self-defense measure, but obviously it's how you use it also that counts. Not necessarily, if the intruder is not armed and comes into your house and obviously you pull your weapon out, you can use it as a deterrent for him to leave the place, to chase him away. It doesn't mean that you need to shoot him, in that sense. He's not threatening your life or things like that. Communication is key also in this aspect. Make sure that you're communicating. Don't just shout things like that, because anything can happen in this situation. So yes, obviously having a weapon is a positive thing, but it's also how you use that weapon that counts, especially in South Africa during the climate that we are in terms of house robberies and things like that.
Okay, and if people would like to know more or be part of the Vision Tactical, how do they go about it?
So we are obviously on various social media platforms. People can get in touch with us with regards to that: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. They can also email us at info@visiontactical.co.za for more information with regards to crime tips, crime prevention, awareness, things like that. Free quotes we do to obviously service your premises or your business, your households, things like that. So yeah, people can get in touch with us via email, and on social media. We're active 24 hours a day.
All right. Shukran so much for your time, and I hope that this information will go a long way in helping people with intruders in their homes. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Mohammed Dabhelia from Vision Tactical Security, giving us tips on what to do if you are faced with intruders in your home. Well, do stay calm, first of all. Stay calm, find a place for your family to hide, press the panic button if you have one. If you do not have one, you might consider installing security in your home so that should an intruder come into your home, then you at least have a sense of mind, or peace of mind rather, that you will be protected, or there will be a response team at your service. Don't fight the attacker off. Try to remain calm as much as possible if the attacker does find you or your family, but press the panic button, find a safe place to hide, and use something to obstruct the door so that they don't kick it down and have access to you and your family. But we are hopeful that the situation doesn't happen to you. I mean, we pray every day that we are not faced in such situations. It was very, very sad and unfortunate that the pregnant mother had to be killed in front of the kids on a farm in KZN. And this is not something that we would wish to happen to anyone. Nobody wants to be killed in such a way, especially in front of their children, who will carry this scar along with them into their adulthood. Anyways, you are listening to the Mari Mukunda Show. If you have any comments, you may leave them in the comment section below, or you can send them to our WhatsApp line on 061 766 0355. Just stay with us. We will be